Tonight, for the first time ever on Indian television, Kim Devi is joining me from Copenhagen. Kim, thank you for coming. My first few questions tonight will be to Kim Devi. Later we'll be joined by Peter Bleach. Later by J.K. Dutt. We'll try and connect the dots. Kim, my first question to you tonight is...
Please get the name. My name is Niels.
Your name is Niels Hawk, and you are also known as Kim Devi. More people know you as Kim Devi in India. So I will refer to you as Niels. But
thank you.
In India, you would be known more popularly or otherwise as Kim Devi. But Niels, regardless of that, my first question to you is, why are you coming out with all of this now?
Well, the Indian government has for 15 years not paid much attention to getting me to India to make statements and stand trial. Though they have known for many years that I was in Copenhagen, in Denmark, they have not made many efforts to get me. Now the situation has turned. New forces apparently in India are trying to get to the bottom of this case, it seems. And I feel the time is now. I have kept silent for almost 16 years. Finally, the dots needs to be connected.
How do you gain by coming out with this version?
What do I gain?
Yes.
Well, I don't expect to gain anything. My life has been completely destroyed. In 2003, I was assured by the then Danish Justice Minister, who to the Parliament in Denmark assured me that I would not be extradited to India. Now the tables have turned. I'm only here because I want the truth to be heard. My life is already lost in this. The life that I had established here is gone.
Niels, let's come to what happened. Who funded this entire operation? You carried it out. Who provided the money for it? Who was the real kingpin?
Well, it is a situation, a rare situation, where there's a collision between a central political interest as we've heard many people saying during the day. We've heard the CPIM coming out and saying that what is happening now only confirms what they have known all along, that the center kept them in the dark. So there was a political interest in Delhi, and there was definitely an interest by the people in Purulia on the ground to defend themselves against decades of torture, murder, rape, destruction by the CPI gundas in the area. You must understand that I have personally experienced this violence. I've heard during the day, that during your reporting, that you refer to the CPI government as a democratically elected government. I think nothing could be further from the truth. They are using violence to maintain their power in West Bengal.
Regardless, that is a matter of your perception. But regardless of that, Kim, let's come down to basics. Now, let's come down to basics. It can be a matter of perception.
Sure.
It's a democratically elected government. You may disagree with their ideology and their means, but it's a democratically elected government.
No,
My specific question, what people want to know, Kim, what people want to know from you is, please elaborate. When you say collusion, you're making a very, very serious charge. You are saying that there are powers in the center, in New Delhi, at the time of the Narasimha Rao government, who wanted to destabilize the Jyoti Basu government, and they used you, and they used intelligence agencies in Britain and in RAW to organize this whole plot? Please explain. It's a very serious charge you're making. You need to go into some detail now. Kim. Niels.
Well, you have on your show today shown Jogendra Singh, the previous CBI head, who has said that he was politically stopped from investigating the case. So I think the facts that are on the table, completely convincing, tells everyone that there is no doubt. We have, as a matter of fact, that the connection between MI5 and RAW is established as a matter of public knowledge. The fact is that I was at that time engaged in working on the ground development around different areas in West Bengal. And the fact is that political forces had already been involved. The Supreme Court had sent PUCL to investigate the atrocities being committed. The PUCL team was themselves attacked by the communist gundas. So I mean,
who let you in? Who let you in? How did you come and enter Indian airspace? Who let you into India? You know, you cannot have a plane from Karachi going through Indian airspace unchecked. I want you to reveal the real story of what happened then.
Right. As I have said earlier, I was assured already spring '95. I was assured that the political forces in India that had interest in arranging for the defense of these people would assure the free passage. And I can only say that what transpired afterwards confirms their assurances to me, because the same people saw to it that I got out of India. So the assurances that they gave me, they followed through on that.
Detail it, Kim. Now you're really revealing what is a very interesting aspect, if it is true at all. And I must say this, Niels, I cannot take everything you're saying at face value, but I need you to elaborate. You say you were allowed in and let out of India by the same people who organized the plot.
Well, as I said, it's a collision of a political interest from the center and some other interest that was there, trying to do political interest in the local area with politicians from Bihar, just across the state border. You must remember that Purulia is right on the border of Bihar and West Bengal. And there were interests there that saw the need to defend people.
You say you disappeared from Mumbai airport. Nobody knew where you went. You told me when we spoke that you left in a member of parliament's, in the back seat of an MP's car surrounded by Indian security men. Name the member of parliament and give me some detail on that.
Sure. When the plane landed at Mumbai airport, at that time we were not surrounded by anybody. We were quite free. So since I was a bit nervous of what was going to happen, I slipped in the background, and when I saw that the police started coming, I slipped away from the airport. From then I went to Pune. I stayed a night in Pune. From Pune I was told through my contacts with the MP that I should fly as soon as possible to Delhi.
Who's the MP?
And when I arrived at Delhi airport, I was received in the MP's personal car and put in the back seat and driven to his official residence within the site of the presidential, the president's residential dome. And at his home, at Papu Yadav's home, Mr. J.K. Dutt arrived shortly afterwards and arranged for the transport by train that evening from Delhi to a very small train station that I couldn't see because I was packed in blankets. Another diplomatic, or what should I say, official car was waiting, plus two other cars with AK-47 guards, who then drove me directly from the platform of the station over the border into Nepal and dropped me at the bus depot on the Nepali side, from where I escaped back to Denmark.
You named two people, and I must say this, that you are naming them at your own responsibility. And by your naming them, I am not standing guarantor that what you say is right, because you name two people. You mentioned J.K. Dutt, who was then deputy director, if I'm not mistaken, with the CBI. And you mentioned Papu Yadav, who was a member of parliament from the North Bihar constituency of Purnia. And you say that this member of parliament and this particular senior police official helped you escape from India, while all of India thought that you had disappeared.
That's what I'm saying, yes.
If I have J.K. Dutt on the show tonight, will you be able to confront him with these facts?
Of course I will confront him with the facts.
Okay. Let me now welcome.
I would also like to confront him with the fact that all those years that he investigated the case, why no substantial things were uncovered? Why was the smokescreen after smokescreen thrown into the case instead of going to the depth of investigating what really happened?
In our Delhi studios, we have J.K. Dutt. Mr. Dutt, welcome. Mr. Dutt is with us in our studios in Delhi. There's a very significant charge that has just been made on the News Hour by Niels Hawk against you, Mr. Dutt. Now, you've been director of the NSG. Niels Hawk or Kim Davey is saying tonight. I also like to welcome from our studios in London, Peter Bleach, who's also former accused. And Peter Bleach has got a presidential pardon in this case. He also wants to give his side of the story. With me in the studios tonight is veteran journalist, senior journalist Udayan Nambudri, who has been following this story in massive detail, and Udayan has also been researching for a documentary on all of this. Before I come to you, Peter, because I would like to give an opportunity to Mr. Dutt to respond to the direct charge made there. Now, Mr. Dutt, Niels Hawk or Kim Davey is saying tonight that you helped him escape from India. He's given full details. I'd like to have your version tonight.
What Kim Davey has said is absolutely false. I deny this thing completely. In fact, it doesn't require a denial at all, because I was nowhere on the scene about where his escape is concerned. In fact, after the incident had occurred, the director CBI had asked me to first proceed to Bombay, where the CID West Bengal was handling the case. They had registered the case over the arms drops at Purulia, and they were handling the case. The director CBI had only asked me to see that since this case was likely to come to the CBI, we should make sure that nothing was done or left out which could later be a sort of omission in the investigation. Now, for that purpose, I was in Bombay. From Bombay then, the accused persons had been taken to Calcutta, and from there by helicopter produced in Purulia. I was in Bombay and in Calcutta during that period. So the question of my meeting Kim Davey in Delhi at the Pappu Yadav's house, as he has alleged, I don't even know where Pappu Yadav lived at that time, and that I helped him to get into a train and escape from there, is absolutely mischievous and false. I deny it completely.
Niels?
Well, Mr. Dutt, I would like to know from you how you felt that the investigation into the case during all those years that you were in charge of it proceeded.
You are now trying to change track. You have been caught on the wrong foot by making an allegation against me. And now you want to know why the smoke screen was created. In fact, that may be your version, but that is not the version as far as I can recall, because this case had occurred in 1995 and I retired in February 2009. Now, to the best of my memory, what I can recall, I can only mention that. And there was no such smoke screen created by the Central Bureau of Investigation at that time when I was the joint director.
Your chief from 96 onwards has just said on national TV that he was stopped investigating the case by politicians. How do you comment on that? Your then chief has said today on TV that politicians stopped him from investigating the case, and you are claiming that there was no involvement. I don't understand.
If anyone has made a statement like that, it is for that person to answer that.
Anyone.
Only
it is
thing that I can say is
who has made that statement
anything,
today.
because after all, the head of any organization is the one who will interact with the government. And if there had been any interaction, interaction, that stopped with the head of the organization itself. We did not get to know anything, nor were we told anything.
I would like to now.
Was there any
but
question
how can Jogendra Singh? How can Jogendra Singh?
Gentlemen, I'm intervening.
Directing the investigation.
Gentlemen, I'm